Hey.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Facebook world. It's February 23rd. Holy cow. It's like 90 degrees out.
I know, there's no snow.
I know. It's so great. It's 30 degrees out. It's February 23rd and it's 30 degrees. Let's hang on to this because yesterday it was quite balmy at like 40 degrees. So welcome to the show. If you're new, this is Put a Fork in It, the weekly Facebook and Instagram now show featuring all things Grand Cities. My name's Courtney Barstad-Logan. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX Grand and Grand Cities Living on social media. I'll toss it to my co-host, Kimmy.
Hello, I'm Kim Efta with RE/MAX Grand and my Grand Cities on social media, and excited to be here on a Tuesday morning. And it's almost been a year, Courtney. We've been doing this.
Has it? It's been a year?
No, almost.
Yeah, almost.
We started right when COVID hit.
Yeah, a small story about the name too. Kimmy and I about a year ago were in Las Vegas, back when we could travel. And we were at the RE/MAX International Convention, and we were sharing a room. And you know how like when you go to bed, like the best things come to your mind, especially when you're having like a slumber party. And I was like, Kimmy, we should do a podcast called Put a Fork in It. And we thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah. That was about a year ago. Yeah.
That was about a year ago. So do have to give a shout out to our third co-host who is currently at the North Dakota Senate, Scott Meyer with Benchmark Mortgage as well. So he will return at some point, but he's here in spirit. But super excited to have a returning guest today. Carma Hanson with Safe Kids Grand Forks. Good morning, Carma.
Good morning to you and all of your followers. It's good to be back with you ladies again.
Yeah.
We have 4 right now. We're moving on up.
2 might be our parents. Okay. Well, we're excited to have Carma back. It was you were probably early on in the show, probably last spring, I would guess.
Sometime, yep.
Yeah. You're like you and Lynn Roach are only, I think, returners, Carma. So
Ooh, I feel privileged.
This is big.
I feel privileged.
So the fun part is Safe Kids has something going on all the time. So in terms of events and schedules and then just general resources, we could probably have Carma on once a week just to give us an update. But for those that are just joining or have never been connected to Safe Kids, we wanted Carma to share just a little bit about what Safe Kids is, Safe Kids Grand Forks. And then we want to talk a little bit about some of the events you guys have coming up. So if you don't mind sharing what Safe Kids does in our community, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Courtney and Kimmy. It's great to have me on today and be with you and visit this morning a little bit about something that's certainly very passionate to me. Safe Kids Grand Forks is a community, actually region-wide coalition. We're based out of Altru Health System, but we have lots and lots of supporters who come together to help us in our efforts. And I want to give a shout out to Courtney Barstad-Logan, RE/MAX Realtor. She is one of our sponsors, and we're just very grateful for all the people who come together to share in our mission of, we kind of say, keeping kids safe at home, at school, at play, and on the way. So as moms of young kids, I know Safe Kids is on your radar and you're very aware of what's going on with the work that we do. But that being said, our work focuses on unintentional injury. So those things that we sometimes refer to as accidents, and I kind of put those in air quotes, things that impact, grandparents or caregivers or foster parents or babysitters or teachers or healthcare providers. A lot of people who, if you've got kids in your life, Safe Kids probably has something going on that would benefit you.
Absolutely. I have to share, I followed Safe Kids before becoming a mom just because of Carma and the work that she does. It's hard to not see, the Safe Kids impact in our community. But when I became pregnant and then became a mom, of course, I tuned in, and I have to share one of the most impactful messages that I had seen. So I think I saw it when I was in the hospital, or maybe like the day I got out, but was the car seat and not leaving your child in a car seat to nap. And I remember Carma sending the link just as a friend, you know, sending it to me and then seeing it on Safe Kids. And even today, as I read their story, I was sobbing reading it. And I mean, the impact just of having that out there to share was amazing. And I know you have a partnership with the family that shares that story. Well, we can point people to your page, but just the simple resources that you guys share from Safe Kids. And that really, I know, started my love of Safe Kids and reaching out for you guys and all things, to be honest.
Well, and, you know, it's interesting you bring that up, Courtney. You know, as a parent or a grandparent, there are certain topics that you know you need to be aware of, like car seats, right? You know, okay, I have this baby. I got to figure out how to use my car seat. And everybody knows kind of, I mean, it's pretty common and pretty been around a long time that you need a car seat for your kid, right? So that's a pretty common topic. Another one might be life jackets. You go to the lake or to a pool, you need a life jacket. So people maybe think, oh, they do work in that area, or, oh, my kid's riding a bike now, they need a bike helmet. But that being said, we cover all of those issues, but there's a lot of I call them you don't know what you don't know topics. Mm-hmm. And I think the one you're talking about is one of those. And I, as an injury prevention person, can come on and talk about, oh, this could happen, or this could happen, or this could happen. But when there is a story behind that message, and you are talking about not just a number or a statistic, but you're actually putting a name to that, I think that's really powerful and impactful. And, you know, my hope is that we don't have to hear those stories. You know, I wish we could never have to hear them again. But that being said, they are happening. And the story that Courtney is talking about is, it'll be 2 years ago now, this April, that I got an email from a lady. She was originally from the Grand Forks area, got married and moved to Bismarck. And she and her husband had tried for years to have a child and finally had a set of twins. And when the babies were in the NICU, they were taught very well by the hospital about safe sleep environments, and the fact that, you know, you need to put a baby in a crib, not on an adult bed or on a couch or in a car seat. They need to be no blankets, no pillows, no stuffed animals, in an approved crib, and on their back. And they talked with the grandparents about that. As she was picking childcare providers, didn't think necessarily she'd need to talk to them about that, assuming that they knew about it, right? Assuming that they knew. Her twins got to be almost a year old. They were 3 weeks short of their first birthday. And she carried them in their infant carrier one day to daycare and set them down. And the little girl, Linnea, was awake. And so the childcare provider picked Linnea up and took her into the playroom. And Rachel looked down at her little boy, Anders, in the car seat. And he was still kind of groggy, a little bit sleepy, you know, and but he looked up at her and smiled, and she said, "Bye, buddy," and then walked out and left and went to work. A couple hours later, she was called by a police officer who said she needed to get to the hospital right away. Anders was in trouble. And as it turned out, Anders had been left to sleep in that car seat, and the provider found him non-responsive. And what had happened is those car seats rock, and it had moved him into a position where his head fell forward and compromised his airway. And Anders died 2 days later. And the family, the Jungling family, reached out to me because they said, as they began to tell their story, they realized how many people said, "Oh my gosh, I never knew that was a danger. I didn't know that," including the childcare provider. And so, you know, that's a story of you don't know what you don't know. And we try to get those things out there so that there doesn't have to be another Anders. I have never met that little boy, and yet, like, he owns a piece of my heart. Mm-hmm. And his story is on our, now I'm crying.
I know, it's like all of us are just like,
he's so good.
Yeah, his story is on our webpage. It's called Bye Buddy, after the last phrase that Rachel said to her little boy. And so our goal is through things like a podcast, or through social media, or through radio interviews, or television, or a website, or visiting with people in the community, or through classes, we try to get those things out. The things you know, the car seats and the bike helmets and the life jackets, but the things you don't know. So sleep position and not using car seats, button batteries, or television tip overs. Every 3 weeks, a kid in the United States dies because a TV tips over on him. Who would have thought, right? And so our hope is that people look to us as being a credible resource and somebody that they can know and trust, because there are a lot of people vying for people's attention and wanting to claim to be an expert. And so we just hope that our community and our region trusts the information that we have and know that we're here to not judge anybody, but really to be your partner in the most important job you'll ever have, and the one that comes with the least amount of orientation, and that's being a mom or a dad.
And we had somebody post the story of the Bye Buddy story.
Yes.
Thank you, Jasmine. Jasmine is a fabulous colleague of mine at our Safe Kids office. We have a fabulous team of staff and also many, many volunteers. And we really kind of all come together around that mission of keeping kids safe. And so thank you, Jasmine, for being on the ball and posting that. And we thank the Jungling family for sharing that story.
One of the other things kind of along the whole car seats is the service and how you work with the sheriff's department and the police department and the fire department on car seat installation and transitioning from all the different stages of car seats. That's one of my, and I keep telling my husband, and he always makes me go. I'm like, no, seriously, you should go, because we drive different vehicles and we flip them around every which way all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about unintentional injury and the risk areas that we cover, there's a whole litany of it. You go to our website and you'll see things from, safe sleep to poison to playgrounds to sports to water to fire and burn. All of those unintentional or preventable injuries are the leading cause of death for kids under age 19. So it's something that better be on parents' radar. But if you take all of those unintentional risk areas, the number one cause of all of them is actually motor vehicle crashes. And so we do spend a fair amount of time on that topic. And Jasmine, the gal who posted that on the link, Jasmine is not only a car seat technician, she is also one of our 2 instructors we have here within the Grand Forks community. And we have a whole host of technicians who covers upper Northeast North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota, who work with our coalition, and together with the North Dakota Department of Transportation and their Vision Zero work that they're doing to try to drive our deaths down to zero. And the Minnesota Office of Traffic Safety, their effort is called Towards Zero Deaths. We are on a mission really to prevent those motor vehicle crashes from happening. And so, as you talked about, Kimmy, there are probably around 250 to 300 car seats on the market at any given time. And how you use them depends on how the age of the kid and the car and the style of the seat. And so we do have monthly car seat checkup events that we hold. We've been at Rydell Auto Center for the last 29 years. And we do those on the second Thursday of every month. Normally they go from 4 to 7. Right now they're going from 4 to 6 because they are closing a little bit early because of COVID. We also have started doing them during the day. So a 10 to noon or a 9 to 11, afternoon 1 to 3 at the fire station in East Grand Forks. We do that by appointment, so people can call us and we'll set up an appointment with them to come in. And then the other thing that we do that we really encourage folks who might be expecting a baby to do is come to our Bringing Home Baby class, where we have them take a doll and put in and out of their particular brand of seat. They learn how to adjust the harnesses, how to get it on and off the base, how to put it into the car. And so it is very hard to do. And we're led to believe you go buy a car seat and you plop it in the back of your car, and that's not the case at all.
I saw a meme the other day that I probably should have tagged you in it, but it was like, want to feel inadequate? Try to put a car seat in your car. And I was like, oh, so like about a month ago, I had a rental car. I'll call it a little buggy. And I had to switch my car seat over. And I was laughing because it's, freezing out, and my husband and I are trying to get it in, and I'm like yelling directions from YouTube. And I was like, we have 2 master's degrees here. We can't figure out this car seat. And I was like, screw this. Like I'm calling Safe Kids, and Carma helped me and she showed me the, the way to get it in. But I was like, you know what, like quit trying to be a hero, folks. Like let's reach out to the experts, because I know, like Kim's changing hers a lot, that, we've got grandparents helping us in different things. And it's like, don't think it's good enough, like, oh, it'll sit. That's the last thing you ever want to think. And so, your team's so amazing to be like, hey, can someone check this out for me? Or, and to get in, because we know how important that is to you as well. But gosh darn it, I swear they like write the instructions upside down, because yeah,
they're hard. And the nice thing about your car seat checks is if you have a question on any of the seats, the technicians are there like researching. They have their books and they're looking if there's a recall on the seat, all those things. And that's so helpful, just having, and like one day I was like, I don't know what these straps are for. And they're like, let's look it up, because they didn't know either, because they're like, this is a different style we've never worked on. So they explained what they're for. So I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and they're always changing technology. They're changing and getting new seats that are coming out on the market all the time. They're trying to make them easier to put in, or, less expensive, or different features. I mean, there's always changes that are going on. The one thing I would say is most people don't read their instructions. Courtney, that looked like a guilty look right there. But I would say that's really important. The other thing is the car seats are now, a lot of the companies are putting a little QR code on the side of the seat. So if you've got your phone out there in the car with you, you just scan the QR code and it'll pop up an instructional video for that particular brand of car seat. So that would be an option. A lot of people are question whether we're doing our checkup events because, of COVID. We are, we just follow the guidelines that Rydell's has set out as far as number of people in the dealership and their hours of operation. But that being said, we have, we wear masks. We do want to, we know that kids are still being transported, even when the COVID was at its height. People need to get places. So we can do them either in person, or the other thing is that we, if you want to do them virtually, we can do them with FaceTime on our phones. And we have had to do that before. I one day got a call from a grandma who was from out of town, and she was out shopping at Target for a car seat for her grandchild, and she was having trouble, and understandably so. And actually the lady at Target, a worker in Target, says to her, well, we have a Safe Kids in town if you want to, call them, not realizing the lady was from out of town. And so she went on Google, did a search, found Safe Kids, called our office, and the next thing I know, I was FaceTiming her up and down the aisle as she was shopping in Target. So, there's a lot you can do virtually too. So please reach out. The other thing I would say is, car seats are expensive, and not everybody can afford a seat. And, you would come to a car seat checkup event if you need your car seat checked. But what do you do if you don't have a car seat? Mm-hmm. And we are very, very fortunate that we have a very generous grant that has been provided to us by United Way of Grand Forks and East Grand Forks, that if people cannot afford a car seat, please contact us and we will work with them. United Way's got some guidelines that we use for screening clients, but we don't want anybody to have to go without a car seat because they can't afford one. So please reach out to our office. Like I said, that's sponsored by United Way, but we're the kind of the people behind that that program as far as putting the seats in and getting them set up with an appointment.
Absolutely. I think one tip too, coming from the two of us here, that didn't have baby, or last baby for Kim and my only, but have baby as planned on the calendar, right? Because babies decide that they want to do what they want to do when they want to do it, is to get that car seat in early enough. Because I know for me, I was like, oh my gosh, this manual is like too much for me right now. And had my husband install it, which, great, he did it, but I was like, hey, let's like get it checked out. And before we knew it, baby was here. And so, peace of mind, new mom, I would have loved to have it looked at, ahead of time. And then, even in changing, I know Kimmy and I, our kids are relative same age, our littlest, and just to have now, I've got one that's going to be 2. He's going to be facing forward here soon. And so what does that look like with the car seat? We all know how fun it was to put it in the first time. So now what does it look like turning it?
Yeah, and that's exactly kind of what I was talking about. That same car seat is going to be used one way facing backwards. And then when you turn around and forward face it, we're going to move it into an upright position. When they rear face, the harness straps are at or below the shoulders. When they forward face, they're at or above. There's a top tether, that strap that you were talking about, not knowing what to do, that will get hooked up behind the car seat. There's belt paths that the seat belt goes through. Those belt paths will change to a different path when they forward face. So, there are changes that happen. So our goal when you come to the checkup events is not just to install your seat for you. It's really to teach you how to do it. And then also to teach you about what are those next stages of things that you need to be thinking about so that you can be prepared. Our Bringing Home Baby class, I will say, we would love for all expectant parents to get into that. It's an 1.5 hour long class. So the first hour we spend in a classroom and you get to work with the baby doll and show you how to use your seat. The last half hour we go out into the dealership. And again, because of our partnership with Rydell's, even if it's 20 below, we've got a nice warm garage that the parents can come in and use, and we'll help them to install their seat there so they know how to do that. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just wait and I'll just have them put it in when I get to Altru. And the reality of it is think about your nurse who's taking care of 3 or 4 or 5 patients. They don't have time to go spend 45 minutes out in your car in the parking lot. So you really need to have that done ahead of time. And so if anybody's interested in those classes, you can go to our website and they're under Bringing Home Baby. They're also on our Facebook page. And then you just can go on to either my chart or you can call our office and get registered for those classes.
Awesome. Okay. You do so much more than just car seats. Clearly, this is our passion right now. This is the stage of the game we're in. But could you share just, in the next month or two, what you all have coming up? I know it's Grand Forks, but also, regionally as well. So can you hit us with some of your events that you have coming up?
Yeah, so I took notes and wanted to touch on a lot of these things. First thing I want to mention is March 1st, we're going to be celebrating National Safety Patrol month or week, actually. The Safety Patrol program, if you are within the Grand Forks schools, some of the schools in town have what are called safety patrols. Crossing guards are the adults that are outside the school. Safety patrols are actually student youth leaders who help kids with getting in and out of cars or away from the bus or getting their bikes in the rack. And not all the schools in town have it. We want to look at getting that incorporated at more of the schools, not just within Grand Forks, but within our region. It's a great youth leadership program, and that program is sponsored by AAA. It has been around for 100 years, and so this school year, they're celebrating the 100th anniversary. So on March 1st, we are going to have our safety patrollers in town going to a city council meeting, and Mayor Boczynski is going to read a proclamation, and we're going to recognize them. So if you have kids at a school and they don't have a safety patrol going on and they want to do that, let us know. We'll get that going. March is also National Poison Prevention Month. And I'm just going to throw this out to you. Can any of you guess what the number one cause of poisoning is for kids?
So
number one cause of poisoning. What? Soap?
Milk? Water?
No, poisoning.
What kind of milk are you giving your kids?
rotten milk. Too much water.
I'm thinking like dish soap.
Dish soap? Well, that's a good guess. And a lot of people will guess that it's cleaning agents or cleaning products. Number one cause of poisoning for kids is medications.
Oh.
It's things that you are bringing into your home to help with maybe pain or allergies or an ailment or heart, problems or whatever. It might be vitamins, our vitamins, the gummy vitamins that we set on our counter and feed our kids one a day is fine, but you eat a whole bunch of those and it's got a lot of iron in it that can be very toxic. And so things that we are bringing into our home are actually the #1 cause of poisoning. And so National Poison Prevention Month is the 3rd week of March. And during that month, we're going to be doing a couple things related to that. The first one is we host 3 medication take-back events each year. The City of Grand Forks is our sponsor for those events, along with the Sheriff's Department and Altru. And at those events, we have, you drive, it's actually in the parking lot at Hugo's on Columbia Road. So you'll see our Safe Kids van and the sheriff car parked along Columbia Road. And you just drive in, open up your window, and you can drop off any unused or expired medications at that event. And when you think about medications, don't just think pills, think liquids or cream or ointments or, you know, patches or anything like that. So if you don't need them, get rid of them, get them out of your house. Think about your purse, your travel kits, backpacks. And so that event is going to be held on Tuesday, March 23rd from 8 until 12:30. You just drive up, open your window, drop them off, and you're good to go. And we'll take care of getting those properly disposed of.
Kimmy and I found some gems for you.
You did.
Yeah, we did go check out a house as realtors.
Yes.
And the tenant wasn't living there at the time, but the niece and nephews were helping. Carma, there was a gallon-sized bag of pills. Full.
Not bottles. Just
Full.
pills.
Yep, not bottles, pills. And we were like, oh. We were like, can we bring this to Carma?
Yeah, like hopefully there's no pets or kids in this house.
Yeah. And pets is another one that we'll get into those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were like medication take back. We would have like,
I've never seen so much medicine in one bag.
Well, and that event is going to be held on March 23rd, like I said, from 8 until 12:30. But just to let people know, there are also permanent drop-off locations within our community. So you can go to the Grand Forks Law Enforcement Center, which is downtown, and it's right inside the door. And it looks like a little post office box. And you just open it, you drop it in. You can leave it in its original container, the labels on it, all that kind of stuff. There's also one at the UND Police Department. One at the East Grand Forks Police Department, right in the lobby. And then a lot of pharmacies in town also have them. If there are people from around the region that are listening, they have these in a lot of the law enforcement centers around the state. North Dakota's Attorney General Wayne Stenjum was instrumental in getting those set up many years ago. Originally, it started in 8 different locations across the state. And now I think it's in like 85 different sites because it's both law enforcement and pharmacies. And so you can go to our Safe Kids webpage, safekidsgf.com, and on there under our home safety, there will be a medication section. You can click on that link and it will open up all of the sites that are available in both North Dakota and Minnesota to drop those off. So if you can't be there for some reason, the day of our med take back, that would be an option. We just don't want anybody flushing it down the toilet. It's in the water supply.
yeah.
Other events that we have going on, we are getting into springtime and where we're going to be doing Safety on Wheels. That's a program that we partner with the Grand Forks Optimist Club and the Grand Forks Park District to put on that program. And it's where we go into the schools. We'll be going around the region and doing head injury presentations and then distributing bike helmets. We did the Grand Forks Public Schools in the fall, but if there are people that need a helmet as kids start to ride bike and the snow melts, they can contact our office. We typically will tell people don't just stop by because we are out and about in the community a lot doing events and we don't want to miss people. So we're not like a normal clinic department that has somebody sitting there from 8 to 5. So call first, but we can fit kids from toddlers all the way through adults with bike helmets. And we have those available for a donation of $8 for a bike helmet and then $12 for a multi-purpose helmet. And then the other couple exciting things are a couple of classes that we have. One is called Safe at Home Alone. It's a class that is designed for maybe kids who are coming home for a brief period of time after school by themselves. We go through things, how to answer the phone or answer the door or not answer the door, what to cook, what to do in an emergency, that kind of thing, bad weather or a fire. That's a class that is $20. It is available. You can find it on our website, but it's an in-person class geared for kids that are about that 8 to 11, 8 to 12 years old. And then the next one in that series is called a Smart Sitter course. And it is for kids kind of that 11 to 14 who might be babysitting. So kids that, maybe are taking care of a younger sibling or maybe you hire them as a babysitter. That one is available to register online as well. We have that coming up at Calvary and then at the Sheriff's Department. And then the last class that's super new and kind of a fun one is for parents, foster parents, grandparents. It could be a caregiver of any type. It's a series that we do once a month, and it's from 6:30 to 7:30 at night. It's via Zoom. It's free, and you'll find that listing of what we talk about. We have the series set out for the entire year, and we go anything from poison to playgrounds to fire to child passenger safety, summer safety. Those are free. You just need to sign up to be sent the link for that.
Awesome.
So a lot on our schedule.
Yeah, you're busy.
Yeah, like I said, we could have you on every month, probably every week. Just
or just a little tip, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And it's not milk. It's not milk.
Don't be poisoning your kids with milk.
Medicine. Okay.
Milk. That's the best. See, Carma, you had us crying. You had us laughing.
Well, I feel like it's been a successful show then. We've covered all gamuts of emotions, right?
Yes. Yeah. You get the moms together and you just never know what's going to happen. So we try to keep it a little bit more professional when Scott's here, but when it's just us.
And he's not a mom or that we know of.
But he's an uncle, and boy, he loves those nieces and nephews, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We should send him to the classes though.
No, we should, especially like the foster or the caregiver one. Like
Yeah.
Like that.
He just usually, if anything goes wrong, he's like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. Someone pooped.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of foster parents in our region who, bless their heart, offer to foster people's children. And one of their requirements is they have to have continuing education. And so we wanted to do our part to help make that an easy role to take on, because there's clearly a need for that. And so what we have done is partnered with Grand Forks County Social Services and the city of Grand Forks really to offer these. They came online mostly because of COVID, and we did it via Zoom, and it was very well received because these are people who have they have these kids running around their house and it's harder to get away. And so we started offering them, and we found that the content that we were covering were things that might be relevant to nurses or to physicians or to teachers or to aunts and uncles or to grandparents or really parents. So, we try to make it easy, free. All you got to do is sign up and we'll send you the link. And once a month we get together and then send out a certificate to those that need it. Another thing that I didn't mention, nurses are another group that needs continuing ed credits. And I know that normally Altru offers it's called Healthcare Horizons every fall. And nurses from all around the region will go to that and get their continuing ed credits. Last fall, that had to be canceled because of COVID. We are going to be doing a medication training series for nurses or healthcare providers coming up the end of March, where they can get free continuing ed. And a lot of times you have to pay for your CEUs. We're offering them for free. So nurses can contact us and find out how they can sign up for that too. So a lot of things you'll find on our webpage or on our Facebook page. So like us at Safe Kids Grand Forks, our webpage is safekidsgf.com. And as we said, we are located in the lower level of the Altru Clinic in East Grand Forks. And we tell people to call before they come, but they can contact our office anytime at 701-780-1489. And my staff are just fabulous about getting back to people right away. And we have so many volunteers that help us out with our work. So we're a very grateful group for all the support we have within the community.
Can you give me your phone number again, Carma? I'm going to post it to everybody here. So
Yes, 701-780-1489.
And then your Facebook page to me is very helpful because, of course, when I'm looking for something, it's like 11:30 at night, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. Let's look about batteries, So your Facebook page is, you guys always have something different posted or links and resources. And then your events. I think I saw one on there that's already scheduled in September. So people can go on there and check things out. And I always appreciate that there's, like a link to go to your page, or if it's an article or whatever. So I always encourage people to check out your Facebook page because you'll be able to see the updated information, or that's where I always saw if there was a car seat check or, something. So that's a great resource because we know moms' brains sometimes work at 2 a.m. and sometimes it's the best page to go to.
Well, thanks for that feedback, Courtney. It's hard. There are so many ways in which parents want to get information, and, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or, a web page or a video or in person or, hard copy. It's always, you're always trying to figure out the best way to get the messaging through. Yeah. And everybody learns differently. And so we try to be real cognizant of that, and then try to keep our resources and materials, in a way that people can understand it, and also in a way that's not like preachy or judgy or, like point the finger, you have to do this, but understand, like I said in the beginning, and I've said this all my life, my gosh, as a new nurse, I got 12 weeks of orientation after completing 4 years of college to become a nurse. I got a 12-week orientation. And granted, I had an important job. I was saving babies' lives in an intensive care nursery. But that being said, probably my most important job I've ever had is being a mom. And what kind of orientation does that come with, right? So, how do you know how to do this whole gig? And so I know moms and dads and, are always looking for the best information to do the very best they can with kids.
Takes a village. We say that in our office a lot. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Carma. We really appreciate you being on and sharing information. And Kim's posted on all the pages that are streaming the your phone number, website, and then your Facebook page, so people can go check that out. And definitely message us if we missed a point of contact or if we can help with that. Be sure to share this. If you know somebody else that might be interested in learning more, please feel free to share this video with others. We definitely want to get the word out. Great resource in the Grand Cities and definitely beyond. So we appreciate it.
Thank you, Carma.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, ladies, for what you do. Grand Forks and the surrounding area is a great place to live and raise kids. And, it's a very safe place. And there's a lot of people who care about those up and coming, future citizens and leaders and adults in our community. And so we really are grateful for all the partnerships we have. And so thank you guys for showcasing the great things that are going on in our community and region.
Absolutely. We love it. Well, you all make it a great day. Hopefully we don't get too much snow after these beautiful days, but be safe out there and make sure that with everything you do today, you put a fork in it.
Bye, everyone.